Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Tuesday welcomed his Armenian counterpart for bilateral talks that included the latest developments in the Armenia-Azerbaijan tensions. The meeting comes after Armenian Prime Minister repeated intention to leave the Collective Security Treaty Organization led by Russia. Lavrov said Moscow was ready to assist in the normalization of relations.
Надеемся, что и в дальнейшем российская сторона будет учитывать все аспекты происходящего, избегая односторонних трактовок, которые, к сожалению, мы видели в последнее время, в последние дни.
Мы всегда ценили, продолжаем ценить братские связи с армянским народом, с Арменией, нашим естественным стратегическим партнером, союзником, и заинтересованы в том, чтобы многовековые традиции дружбы, добрососедства укреплялись и развивались.
Azerbaijan and Armenia relations have been on and off for over 3 decades since both nations fought a bloody war in the late 1980s and early 1990s.
Russia is intensifying its bombardment campaign as it strikes multiple Ukrainian cities. Moscow fired Iranian-made Shahid strike drones as it targeted the central city of Cherkasy. The attack caused some damage to properties in the vicinity. Locals say windows of 5 two-story residential buildings, a school and a retail store, as well as some doors completely blew out. In the eastern city of Pokrovsk, the Kremlin launched a barrage of more than 130 Shahid drones, as well as numerous decoy drones, according to the Ukrainian Air Force. Local authorities say 3 multi-story buildings and 3 houses suffered extensive damage. The drones set ablaze a large portion of a 9-story building covering 1 square kilometer. And in Dnipro, more than 150 houses suffered damage of varying degree, and 2 two-story buildings were reduced to rubble as Moscow's rockets pummeled the area. At least 2 people sustained injuries and were transferred to medical centers for treatment. Locals say the attacks were like a nightmare.
Ну, дітей ж треба було, син перейшов сюди, повна хата стекла, там перебіг сюди. Ну, потім другий раз, як шандарахнуло, ті двері відлетіли аж до окна. Ну, це був, звісно, кошмар. Не думала, що в 40 років остатися під відкритим небом.
The Kremlin's attacks also extended to the northeast of the country, targeting Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv. Regional officials say the attacks there caused minor damage to some properties in the area, and no casualties were reported. On a cold winter's day in Ukraine's Donetsk region, a group of newly recruited soldiers began their training drills designed to prepare them for real combat on the front lines against Russian forces. The men from Ukraine's 24th Mechanized Brigade are a combination of both new recruits who've never fought and others who've been transferred from rear positions to train for the front lines. The training is set to last 45 days and is designed to be extensive, covering every aspect of tactical action needed on the battlefield. With the war approaching its 3rd anniversary, the future remains clouded for Kyiv as U.S. President Donald Trump takes office. Trump told reporters that Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky had informed him he wanted to make a peace deal, expressing hope that his Russian counterpart would follow suit. Trump says Putin would be destroying Russia by failing to make a deal, as he pointed to Russia's troubled economy. Trump, who vowed during his campaign trail to end the war on his first day in office, has since backtracked and revised his offer to a more realistic 6-month window. But in the meantime, while the war continues to rage, Ukraine is opting to prepare for the worst and ensure their troops are battle-ready.
Russian President Vladimir Putin had a call on Tuesday with Chinese President Xi Jinping, as both leaders prepare to deal with U.S. President Donald Trump. The 2 leaders emphasized their strong personal ties, which Putin said do not depend on the current international environment.
Совместно выступаем за построение более справедливого многополярного миропорядка. Ведем работу в интересах обеспечения неделимой безопасности на евразийском пространстве и в мире в целом.
At the same time, Xi expressed hope for positive ties with the U.S. in a call he had with Trump on Friday, something China's foreign ministry spokesperson restated after Trump's inauguration.
中方愿意按照相互尊重、和平共处、合作共赢的原则，同美方加强对话沟通，妥善管控分歧，拓展互利合作。希望美方同中方相向而行，共同推动中美经贸关系稳定、健康、可持续发展。
Russia's top diplomat said the interests of the United States haven't changed with Trump taking office.
Интерес Соединенных Штатов никогда не менялся в зависимости от того, демократы или республиканцы находятся в Белом доме. Этот интерес заключается в том, чтобы всегда быть сильнее любого конкурента.
Putin has also noted that Moscow is open to dialogue with the Trump administration on the conflict in Ukraine, emphasizing the need to respect Russia's interests.
The golden age of America begins right now. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal.
President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw the US from the Paris Climate Agreement has already raised some eyebrows within the EU. The Paris Agreement is the world's most important effort to tackle rising temperatures and is supplemented by Europe's own Green Deal and the USA's Green New Deal.
We need to react. I think it's clear that we as European Union criticize the US withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement. We don't think that this is the right step forward because tackling climate change is a global challenge and we're all in this together.
The first Trump administration made a similar move in 2017, but President Joe Biden reversed this on his first day in office in 2021. In the European Parliament, opinions on the matter vary.
Majority of Greens, Social Democrats and also Christian Democrats, I think that it will be a reflection for them to change Green Deal, which is a huge obstacle for European economy to grow.
But for this MEP, there is a harsh reality to be reckoned with.
Last year, it was the hottest year ever recorded in a way. And I would like to ask Mr. Trump to see how he will deal with the Santa Ana strong winds which destroyed Los Angeles after he pulled out United States not only from the Paris climate deal but some other incentives aimed to combat climate changes.
The only thing certain is that Trump's first moves have triggered a major debate in the EU about how it should react.
Six people have been killed and dozens wounded in an Israeli attack on the Jenin refugee camp in the occupied West Bank, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. The Israeli military says it was conducting a counter-terrorism operation in the area, which is known for militant activity. Jenin has been a frequent target of Israeli raids during the 15-month Israel-Hamas war. Violence in the West Bank has escalated significantly since the conflict began, with over 800 Palestinians killed in Israeli operations. Meanwhile, in Gaza, a ceasefire is holding for a third day. Many residents are returning home to find their neighborhoods in ruins.
كله حجار بطون بس حجار بطون وبس اشيل الردم بدي سنتين عشان اشيل الردم هذا والحديد وين بدنا نيجي نقعد حتى نحط خيمه مش حتزبط الخيمه نحطها كله دمار 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 لا
The United Nations reports a significant increase in aid deliveries, with over 900 trucks entering Gaza since the truce began.
Airports aren't just for planes, they can be the perfect place for solar energy installations. Rome Fiumicino Airport's new solar farm, unveiled on Monday, is one of such example and far from ordinary. Located along the eastern side of runway 3, its 50,000 solar panels make up the biggest photovoltaic system in Europe. By reducing airports' CO2 emissions by over 11,000 tons per year, the new project, inaugurated in the presence of Italy's energy minister, aligns with the decarbonization commitments by 2030, 20 years ahead of the industry's target.
È un impianto dimostrativo, però è come si può raggiungere il net zero nel momento in cui si raggiungerà, ma come si può intervenire in modo massiccio nella decarbonizzazione, ma non con un sacrificio, in realtà con un beneficio che significa essere più moderni, essere più neutri.
Next to airports, many other areas can be used to install similar projects.
Tutte le aree ex cave, le aree tra autostrade e ferrovie, sono moltissime le aree in Italia che non hanno un'altissima valenza agricola e che possono essere utilizzate.
Aviation is considered the second biggest source of greenhouse gas emissions in the transport sector. By using airport land for renewable projects such as Fiumicino's solar farm, the airport plays a significant role in reducing dependency on fossil fuels and contributes to the green transition.
È un settore che ha la sua impronta carbonica, è molto inferiore a tanti altri settori, ma soprattutto ha un carattere di essenzialità. Se il settore aereo è un settore hard to abate, come si dice, ma così essenziale, è importante trovare delle soluzioni, delle politiche di supporto. Le soluzioni sono queste, vuol dire transizione a fonti di energia rinnovabile, fotovoltaico in prima, e transizione all'elettrico di tutti i veicoli che si muovono all'interno dell'aeroporto. Questa prima tappa importante è soltanto la prima, che porterà un'infrastruttura a essere emissioni zero soltanto nell'arco dei prossimi 4-5 anni.
With nearly 50 million passengers annually, Fiumicino Airport has been named the best airport in Europe for the 7th consecutive year. Authorities hope that both the terminal and Italy could become a model for growth of the green economy worldwide. Giorgia Orlandi for Euronews in Rome.
Euronews. The news